What if reality is not happening to you, but because of you? What if the world you wake up to each morning is not fixed, solid, or final, but waiting, listening, unfinished? Before you observe it, nothing is decided. Before you believe, nothing is real in the way you think it is. Science calls it the observer effect. Mystics have always called it awareness. Every thought you hold, every emotion you linger in is a silent instruction given to the universe. So the real question is not what will happen next, but who are you being as you observe this moment? Because the moment you look, reality looks back. Reality is not a solid, unchangeable stone found on a path. It is a fluid, shimmering ocean of infinite potential waiting for your command. Before you look, the world exists only as a ghostly haze of probabilities, a maybe waiting to become a yes. We are not walking through a pre-built set on a movie stage. With every step we take, the ground materializes beneath our feet to meet us. We are the dreamers, and the physical world is simply the dream hardening around our expectations. And if this is true, then certainty is not something we discover, but something we generate. The universe waits in a listening posture, neutral and permissive, until consciousness gives it a direction to follow. What feels like chance is often just undefined intention, a canvas still untouched by awareness. The moment you assume reality is fluid, you stop asking what will happen and begin to sense what is ready to happen. Fear, then, is not a warning from the world, but a brush dipped in darker colors. When we expect collapse, instability, or loss, the ocean of potential responds faithfully, shaping waves that match our inner weather. Reality is obedient, not moral. It does not judge the dreamer, it only reflects the dream. To change the scene, you do not fight the waves, you change the tide within. This is why presence matters more than effort. The clearer the observer, the smoother the surface upon which reality can crystallize. When attention is scattered, the canvas fractures. When awareness is calm, the image sharpens. Creation is not loud or forceful, it is precise, intimate, and almost shy. And perhaps the greatest illusion is believing we are small within this vastness. The ocean does not overpower the dreamer. It awaits them. Every expectation you carry is a silent instruction, every assumption a sculptor's hand. The world does not ask permission to become, it asks only what you are willing to see. Your attention is more than just focus. It is an alchemical fire that breathes life into whatever it touches. Where you place your gaze, energy flows, and where energy flows, reality begins to bloom and take shape. If you focus on lack, the universe sculpts a reality of emptiness. If you focus on gratitude, it builds a monument of abundance. You are constantly telling the universe what to prioritize simply by what you choose to dwell upon. Most people believe attention is harmless, something they can scatter without consequence. Yet every glance is a spark, every sustained thought a flame that alters the structure of the field. What you repeatedly attend to does not remain neutral. It warms, expands, and eventually demands form. The fire does not ask whether it should burn, it only responds to where it is fed. This is why unconscious attention is so powerful and so dangerous. To obsess over fear is to keep it alive, to revisit pain is to reignite its pattern. The universe does not distinguish between intentional focus and habitual fixation. It answers both with the same devotion. What you rehearse internally becomes the script reality performs for you. But attention can also be sanctified. When you learn to place it gently, deliberately, with reverence, it becomes a sacred act. To look at life with gratitude is not denial, it is selection. You are choosing which frequencies deserve to be amplified, which seeds deserve water. And in time, you realize something subtle and unsettling. Reality is not demanding your effort, only your loyalty. Not your struggle, but your consistency. The fire of attention grows not through intensity alone, but through faithfulness. Guard your gaze, for it is the quiet architect of everything you will someday call real. The observer effect reveals a profound spiritual truth. There is no out there separate from in here. The world you see is simply a mirror reflecting your internal state, your beliefs, and your deepest vibrations. You are the universe observing itself, and the reality you experience is the universe responding to your specific frequency. When you heal the observer, you instantly heal the observation. When you change your heart, the scenery changes with it. This is why resistance in the outer world so often feels personal. We are not colliding with an enemy, but encountering unintegrated parts of ourselves asking to be seen. What irritates you, frightens you, or fascinates you in others is rarely random. It is a signal from the mirror, pointing towards something alive within you. The reflection persists until the observer becomes honest. Blame dissolves when this truth is fully absorbed. There is no one to fight, no world to correct, only perceptions to soften and wounds to be tended. As the inner climate shifts, the external landscape follows with uncanny precision. Relationships rearrange, opportunities appear, obstacles quietly step aside, as if the world itself were listening. This is not because reality is fragile, but because it is intimate. The universe does not stand at a distance. It presses itself against consciousness, responding in real time. Every belief you hold becomes a lens, every emotional pattern a filter through which existence must pass. Change the lens, and the light reorganizes itself. And perhaps the deepest liberation is this: you are not trapped inside the mirror. You are the one looking into it. The moment awareness turns back upon itself, the reflection loosens its grip. The world does not need to be fixed, only understood. When the observer remembers who they are, the mirror finally rests. In the quantum realm, all possibilities exist simultaneously: success and failure, joy and sorrow dancing together in a silent waltz. It is your conscious choice, your observation, that collapses this infinite wave into a single, tangible event. You are the decision maker who pulls one specific reality out of the chaos and anchors it into time. Every moment is a crossroads where your belief determines which path becomes solid and which fades away. The wave does not collapse because you force it, but because you commit to seeing. Indecision keeps reality fluid, unresolved, hovering in potential. The moment belief stabilizes, the universe follows, crystallizing around that inner certainty. Reality seeks coherence, and your conviction is the organizing principle it obeys. This is why doubt feels heavy. It pulls consciousness in opposite directions, stretching the wave instead of allowing it to settle. When you waver internally, the world mirrors this hesitation with delays, mixed signals, and half-formed outcomes. Clarity is not rigidity, it is alignment. Choice, then, is sacred. Not the frantic choice of fear, but the calm decision of someone who knows where they are standing. When you choose from presence, the wave collapses cleanly, without resistance. One path gains weight, texture, and continuity, while the others dissolve without drama. And so life is not happening to you, but through you, moment by moment. Each belief you hold is a vote cast in the quantum field. Each act of faith selects a universe that agrees with it. You are not waiting for reality to decide, you are the point at which it finally does. We often think manifestation takes time, but the observer effect suggests that the shift is instantaneous at the quantum level. The delay we perceive is only the lag of our own acceptance and the density of matter catching up to spirit. When your conviction is absolute and your vibration matches your desire, the gap between wanting and having vanishes. Miracles are simply the result of an observer who refuses to see anything less than perfection. Time, then, is not the enemy of creation, but its veil. It exists to soften the shock of instant transformation, to give the nervous system space to adjust to what the soul already knows. What you call waiting is often the process of learning to inhabit a reality that has already been chosen. The future is not approaching you. It is remembering you. This is why impatience collapses power. To rush is to confess disbelief, to signal that the shift has not yet been accepted internally. The universe responds not to urgency, but to embodiment. When you live as if the outcome is settled, time rearranges itself around that assumption. Seen from this angle, miracles lose their drama. They are not interruptions of natural law, but alignments with a deeper one. What appears sudden is merely what no longer required rehearsal. The observer held the vision steady long enough for matter to surrender. And eventually, even the idea of manifestation dissolves. There is no future to create, no delay to overcome, only presence refining itself. When awareness is fully here, time loosens its grip. In that stillness, soon becomes irrelevant, and now reveals itself as the only moment reality has ever needed. To accept that we are co-creators is to accept a beautiful and terrifying responsibility for everything we witness. We can no longer be victims of circumstance if we admit that we hold the pen that writes the script. We must learn to observe with love, to witness with compassion, and to direct our attention with intention rather than fear. To master the observer effect is to become the conscious architect of a life built on purpose. Responsibility in this sense is not blame, it is authorship. It is the moment you realize that nothing appears in your field without asking to be understood. Life is no longer something that happens to you, but something that speaks through you, shaped by the quality of your seeing. To observe unconsciously is to create blindly. To observe with awareness is to create with care. This is why compassion becomes a discipline, not a sentiment. What you judge, you energize. What you condemn, you entangle yourself with. Love, then, is not softness, it is precision. It is the decision to look at reality without fragmentation, without turning away from what asks for integration. With this responsibility comes restraint. Not every thought deserves attention, not every emotion deserves amplification. Mastery is not control over the world, but stewardship of perception. The true architect chooses carefully where to place awareness, knowing that every focus leaves a structural mark. And slowly, a new ethic emerges, one not imposed from outside, but arising from understanding. You act with integrity not because you are told to, but because you see the immediate consequences of your inner posture. To live as a conscious observer is to walk gently through reality, aware that every gaze shapes the ground beneath your feet. Finally, imagine what happens when we unite our vision, for we are not just solitary observers, but a collective consciousness. When we look together at peace, at healing, or at love, the combined weight of our attention can bend the arc of history. We are co-creators not just of our private lives, but of the human destiny, weaving a tapestry far greater than any single thread. Your gaze matters, for it is a vital part of the vision that sustains the world. No thought is ever truly private. Each intention you hold ripples outward, subtly tuning the shared field we all inhabit. When many hearts rest in fear, the world trembles. When enough minds stabilize in coherence, reality softens. History is not only written by events, but by the invisible agreements of attention that precede them. This is why collective shifts often feel sudden. What looks like an overnight transformation is usually the culmination of countless silent observers aligning inwardly over time. The moment enough people hold the same frequency, the world has no choice but to reorganize. The symphony reaches a critical harmony and the old rhythm can no longer sustain itself. Participation, then, is inevitable. Even withdrawal is a form of contribution, a note played in absence. To live unconsciously is still to vote, still to influence the tone of the whole. The question is not whether you are shaping the collective, but whether you are doing so deliberately. And perhaps this is the deepest invitation of all, to realize that your inner state is not a private matter. Every moment of clarity strengthens the field. Every act of presence steadies the whole. You are not a spectator of history. You are one of the instruments through which it is being played. We often trap ourselves in loops because we wake up and immediately observe the past, reconstructing our old problems with our morning focus. To truly co-create, you must withdraw your attention from the history that hurts you and place it on the future that heals you. The quantum field responds to your current presence, not your biography, offering a clean slate in every single nanosecond. You must be brave enough to observe a version of yourself that has not yet walked through the door. While the mind directs the focus, it is the heart that provides the magnetic pull, the gravity that holds the creation together. Thinking about a desire is the spark, but feeling the reality of it is the fuel that sustains the fire of manifestation. When your emotional signature matches the vibration of your wish, the universe recognizes you as the rightful owner. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are, so you must become the vibration of your dream. There is often a silence between the moment of observation and the moment of manifestation, a void where your faith is tested. Do not let your gaze waver when the physical world seems slow to catch up. This is merely the seed germinating in the dark. Trust that once you have observed the outcome with clarity, the gears of the cosmos are turning silently in your favor. Detach from the how and the when, for your only job is to hold the vision steady until it hardens into fact. So as you move through your day, ask yourself, what am I building with my eyes? What am I feeding with my attention? Remember, the universe is listening to your silence and watching your gaze. You are powerful beyond measure. If this message resonated with your spirit, please leave a comment below sharing what you intend to manifest today. I read every story. And if you wish to continue this journey into the mysteries of the mind and soul, do not forget to subscribe and ring the bell. Until next time, observe with love.